WNYWatercooler.com.
Tell me that your life is awful. You're a clown, Steve. I'm tired of the clown show. Tired of it. You've got a playoff team. You got a team that's won 3 in a row, and you're miserable because you love being miserable because that's what you're
I'm
about.
not scared of the Patriots. I don't think they're any better than us. I think they're old. I think it's just a matter of time before these guys break down. Their quarterback is. There's a reason why no one plays at that age. If he takes one hit, he gets blindsided by Oliver one time. It's a broken clavicle and his career is over. Edelman, old and frail as well. They don't scare me, man. This team doesn't scare me. If our offense can put up 20, we win. In ball game.
Welcome back, WNYWatercooler.com podcast. Subscribe to us on Spotify, specifically, I think. Look for us YouTube. It's Steve, and we got Coast.
What's up, Jan, man?
What was the last game? Bengals. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know. Game went about as exactly as I expected it to.
Then I don't get why is everyone fucking melting down? We lose by 6. I mean, was it closer than that? Was it not as close as that? But everyone's melting down. Fire everyone. The used trope of get rid of the offensive coordinator. Like, oh yeah, Wayne Brady's gonna fucking do better. The guy gets fired from Carolina. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to defend anyone really, but.
Neither do I.
It seems like everyone's overreacting.
Yeah, you can make an argument both ways, I think. I think it was clear that Cincy sort of stopped scoring, and they basically did to us what we did to Tampa the week before. But also, if Kincaid doesn't fumble, it's a different game.
It's a completely different game. There would have been, 11? I mean, if we're assuming we score, 10, 11 minutes left, down 1 score.
He fumbled with there was over 13 minutes left when he fumbled. And yeah, we would have been down 3 maybe, actually, probably 5 or 3 with 12 minutes to go. So it obviously would have been a different game. And then of course he fumbled.
It seemed like we were cruising it on that drive at least.
Well, I thought the offense played good for most of the game. They just, that fumble was killer.
And we would chip this team. They have a bunch of injuries now. Higgins is out now. The other guy, Chase, is hurt. I think he's going to play this week for the Bengals. And their D lineman, dickhead with no gloves. So
we also are wood chipped. So it's, I mean, the injuries that we keep experiencing on defense is comical at this point.
Well, it's not sustainable. I mean, the defense, you can't count on the defense. So we've been going back and forth about all this all week. Well, there's too many injuries. So the offense has to score 28 plus points against the decent to good teams. There's no other way around it.
Right. And I think that the conversation has to be, and this is what's frustrating me to no end, is the talk is all about the offense and what's wrong with them. Fire the offensive coordinator. We have a good to great offense. And the problem is we have the worst defense in the NFL since all the Milano, White, Daquan catastrophe. Literally the worst defense in the league. And yeah, our offense has to be better because that's the only chance we have to be to win is if they're almost perfect every single week. But the defense we're going to have one of the worst defenses in the league the rest of the season. And the frustrating thing is that it's clear to me that McDermott's solution for this problem is not to try to score, but to try to somehow limit, which our offense does not, that's not their strength. So I just feel like McDermott is torpedoing our offense because when they're out there, they're good. Yeah, they have to be perfect, and they haven't been. But he's trying to thread this needle of, trying to keep the defense off the field because he knows they suck. But I don't know. It's just that's the frustrating thing to me. Yeah.
I mean, it's conjecture. No one knows. Everyone assumes McDermott. I mean, right? Most likely they're right, but people are just assuming he wants to slow the game down. He's always wanted to run the ball more. I mean, it's not like he's come out and said that. I mean, he answered the question about the hurry up strange where they want to try different styles of offense. But on the other side of that, Ken Dorsey and Josh Allen, do these guys not have like the ultimate say in what the offense is doing? Do they not see it's their careers too? Like, I don't know. Is Dorsey just a yes man? Like, it's all everyone is blaming him. It's his offense. It's his career. So, are you going to listen to this head coach who he has had a very good record and some success, but he's going to tank the rest of your earnings for the rest of your life if you're going to let him decide? Are you going to run? Are you going to slow the game down? That's the part that I don't understand. I mean, I don't know how we would understand it, I guess, but
yeah, I think that it's without a doubt that McDermott is influencing Dorsey in what they are doing on offense for sure. And I think he tried to do the same thing with Dable. I mean, look at Dable and McDermott now. I mean, clearly there's like something going on there, and maybe that's because McDermott wanted to meddle in Dable's offense, and Dable was like, no, get out of here. Like, I'm going to do what I want to do. And you started to hear some rumblings of that before Dable even left here. So McDermott's a defensive coach. His defense sucks when they're on the field. So it's natural that he wants to have long drives on offense, but we're not built to do that. So it's just, I don't know. I mean, at this point, after the last month or so, it's got to be clear to McDermott I think he's smart. You know, I think he would see that what they're doing isn't working. It's same thing that happened in 2021. We got to a point of the season where we were just like, F it. Like, we're going as far as Josh Allen's going to take us. And that's basically, what we have to do now.
Well, we have to hope that he can realize that. These guys have egos and hubris that their way is going to work in the end. But I don't see where what could he point to that confirms that? I mean,
the defense has been so bad. So, people are trying to make the argument that they had like a decent game against Cincy. I mean, not really. Cincy had
the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter they did, but when they needed to stop, ultimately they didn't stop them.
Which is like the fourth every loss this season. So, yeah, I mean, Jacksonville needed a stop, couldn't get a stop twice against Jacksonville. They give up the third down long pass to Ridley and then the ETN 40-yard TD run. And then when we had a chance again to get the ball back, they couldn't do it. And then the Cincy game, obviously, they had to get 2 first downs to win the game. They get the 2 first downs. Miller is in position to make the play on Mixon, can't do it. Dane Jackson's out there on an island versus Boyd. He gets, roasted. New England game, we all know what happened. All you got to do is look at how New England looked against our defense.
So we're 5-4, right, Bills? So all we had to have done was win the Patriots game. And
exactly.
Basically, the season went, for the most part, like we thought it most likely would. So it's that Patriots game is going to haunt us until we have a win that we were chalking up as a loss, which I don't know when that's going to be. Week 18. I
think you're right. I mean, when you're in a position where you're not going to be, it's like playoffs are going to be a lot of work this year to even make them. You can't have that many bad losses, and we've got 2 already. Now we got to try and steal one if we give ourselves the 3 wins that we're supposed to get, we'll be touchdown favorites against the Jets probably and Denver and New England. You give us those 3 wins, you're going to have to steal a couple games now. So, are we going to be favored in any other game? I don't know.
Cowboys at home. I mean, the Cowboys.
Depending on what happens between now and then, I would say we'd be favored against the Cowboys at home, and we may be favored against the Chargers. But that's probably it, depending on what Miami's doing week 18. But so it's tough. They're in a tough spot, but yeah.
Yeah, and the Broncos game, there's I just listening to everyone just complaining and panicking. The line's even gone down. I think it was 8.5. Now it's down to 7. But and the Broncos, we're playing Denver at a weird time, off a bye, and they had 2 wins, and their defense played well, but they played the Chiefs twice. I mean, the Chiefs, their offense is shit. I mean, they have a great team. The defense is good, great probably, but they have 14 against the Dolphins on offense.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Their offense hasn't been great. Mahomes hasn't been great. I mean, they won that Jets game that we lost. You know, it was a pretty similar game. But yeah, they haven't been that good. And Denver's 3 straight games allowing less than 20 points. So I don't know. I mean, but Denver's still not a good team, and their offense isn't very good at all. And yet somehow it's like, I just don't know. I don't know how to feel about it.
Like the fans, the Bills better be ahead early, because I think the fans are not into this game at all. It doesn't seem like the secondary market and a Monday night. Generally, Bills fans don't like the Monday night home games, even though, I mean, I love them, but a good amount of season ticket holders don't love them. And the tickets are so damn expensive now. People that want to go and party and have fun can't even afford to. I mean, the price of tickets for Bills games is like, it's wild now.
This schedule is a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, because you're scared to be up past 11, but
3 straight night games. I mean, it's just brutal. Like, and these games are just like miserable to watch too. Like, I mean, that Giants game was a nightmare. Cincy game, like every Jets
the Cincy
game.
game was fun up until towards the end of the second quarter, and then the fumble in the fourth. But I mean, it was back and forth in the first quarter. But
I mean, once again, too,
I just hate the Bengals.
Me too. And well, the other thing too that I would be remiss if I don't talk about. Everyone likes to say that they don't want to be like the blame the ref guy, but I'm just going to be him, because this is it's absolutely ridiculous, man. And I know we talk about it and it happens every week, whatever. Dude, the refs have like cost us like serious chances at winning games multiple times this season. The rough personal foul on Poyer against Jacksonville, the picking up the flag on the ineligible man downfield against New England, this nonsense at the end of the first half against Cincy, I can't even get over. I mean, I know the intentional grounding obviously was a bad call. You got the tripping. I mean, that's horseshit. I mean, that's Bush League stuff. That should have been a personal foul, like, without a doubt. I couldn't even understand like why there wasn't an uproar for that.
It was an awkward play because he was sliding, but yeah, he clearly tripped him. And then fucking useless Gabe Davis shorts his route, or twice he was not on the same page with Allen. I mean, I'm thinking if Davis wasn't playing every single snap, I'd bench his ass. I don't know, the interception, maybe it was Allen's fault, probably, or maybe a little bit of it was Davis's fault. I mean, we never really know that stuff, but Davis had no catches, right?
No catches, and everyone knows he's not like a good route runner. So like what is the receiver supposed to do on those routes? Like, is he supposed to like sell like a shorter route so the quarterback can hit it in that hole? And I don't know. I really just don't know. But I agree, man. He's useless out there. He had one good game, and I don't know.
Yeah, he had the one, maybe 2 good games. But why the fuck doesn't McDermott take a timeout and try a Hail Mary? I mean, okay, maybe you don't want to kick a 60, I don't know, what was it, 62, 67. You can not do that, but what is the point of not taking a Hail Mary? Clearly they'll call a penalty on anything. Allen he can get a roughing the passer call once or twice a game. All you need is one penalty to get back into field goal range.
Yeah, I saw the uproar on that. I have to go back and watch. I don't remember the specific situation, but if there was a chance to, call a timeout with 2 seconds left and then chuck a Hail Mary, then it's a no-brainer to do it.
They rewound the clock with like 8 seconds. They easily could have taken a timeout with 8, 7, 6, 5. They had plenty of time.
We We had a timeout.
Yeah, the Bills had a timeout, and they had ample opportunity, but Allen was going berserk about the flag, and maybe McDermott wasn't paying
Rightfully
attention
so.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Allen
think
could go
that's what
berserk,
happened.
but it's the fucking coach to take
Yeah.
the timeout. There was ample opportunity to take a freaking timeout. It was
And the challenge in our last drive there. I mean, just
a
the,
9-yard play on first down. It's just
the carelessness with timeouts. I mean, how just can't. Like, if he has someone in his ear saying, "Oh, it was a catch," whatever, you just feel like not worth the risk. Like it's
exactly.
I mean,
It wasn't
it's a
even going to be a
no-brainer.
first down. It wouldn't even. It would have been 2nd and 1. So then what? We would have done a
Totally.
QB sneak instead of chucking the ball downfield. Like
Inconsequential. Yeah, totally ridiculous. Just
next play, we get 9 yards humorously.
I mean, we would have, and ultimately wouldn't have impacted the result of this game, but like, because they got the first down anyways. But I mean, totally. I mean, if we have 2 timeouts left, maybe since he's not throwing on first down, because they knew they needed, I don't know, I guess it was more apt to take a risk there because we could only stop the clock once, I guess. I don't know. It could have just changed things if we had those timeouts at our disposal. But that challenge, it's just so bad. It's, oh, man. Frustrating. But
And then I mean, hypothetically, then we're looking at the end of the year. I mean, are they going to fire? Would Bean fire McDermott if they don't make the playoffs and go 8 and 9? I think that
No.
McDermott he is guaranteed another year unless
100%. There's no way McDermott gets fired because we already have a built-in excuse with all the injuries on defense.
Yeah.
There's no
that.
I think that Dorsey, I mean, there'll be a scapegoat, and I'm not even here to blame Dorsey. Like, I think our offense has been good. I do. I think there's been just weird. Some of the games have been weird, and against Cincy, they have the ball for 20 of the first 25 minutes of the game, and part of that is because Allen throws a pick on the first play of a drive, but our defense is not getting any stops, especially early in these games. So it's, our starting field positions in week 5 is 10 yards worse than it was the first 4 games. 32nd in DVOA on defense since week 5. That's just what we got to deal with the rest of the season, and we got to recalibrate our expectations.
Yeah, I just recalibrate our expectations. So making the playoffs, I mean, they could still win the division. The Dolphins, their schedule's not easy, but it's easier than the Bills' schedule. And that team, I think the Dolphins are a better team than the Bills right now too. But
yeah, it's a tough one. I'm not too sure. I mean, I feel like they are better coached than us. So they're not going to lose to New England and the Jets. But I think we're better. I would pick us to beat a good team before I would pick Miami to beat a good team, but I would also pick us to lose to a shit team before them, which is how the season's borne out so far.
I mean, the other thing of the Dolphins, if their offense doesn't score, well, I don't know. Their defense is getting better, so I don't know. The Dolphins, they can lose a game. That team's not infallible, but
no, they're not. But I don't see them dropping a game against a team that's inferior. If they were playing Denver this week, there'd be 0 doubt in my mind that they would beat Denver. But I don't know if the Bills will beat Denver. So.
Well, the Bills need to come out and win this game handily, and just to get, a little bit of the sweat off us. But then you have the Jets coming into town.
Yeah, you got to jump on these teams early. The Denver, just come out firing early and try and have as many possessions as you can in the first half. And I don't want to see the end of the. I think our second drive of the game against Cincy was at the start of the second quarter. So, I don't know. If we win the toss, we take the ball. That's what Cincy did last week. They know the stats. They know their record when they score first versus when they don't. So they won the toss and took the ball and scored, and they won. And I don't know, you could make all the arguments you want, analytics, whatever. Like, oh, double dip at the end of the half. Teams still get the same amount of possessions, generally. So just if you double dip at the end of the half, that means you got the same number of possessions in the first half. So then
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's true. But the one thing about that, not getting that field goal, I mean, momentum, is it a real thing? A little bit or just even your mentality a little bit. Like, oh, we're only down this. Maybe not momentum per se is the right term, but that was just. What did we do when we come out in the third quarter? What did we do? We go
Field goal.
kick the field goal. Yeah, we kicked the field goal.
Right. No, I totally agree. I believe in that shit a lot. Momentum. People like to make fun of momentum. I think it's a real thing, you know? Played sports, played anything. You know how momentum is. It's just like mentally.
I mean, with the crowd, with your mentality. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, the WGR dickheads, they make fun of momentum because you could have a tip pass and there's an interception then or a fumble, which, all right, yeah, but still there's other ways that it's a real thing as well. So
I think it is for sure. And the whole way that first half ended with the penalties being called, knocking us out of field goal range and whatever. I mean, it just
seems like the league. I mean, the league's not fixed, but you can't tell me that there's not teams that are just they're the favorites, they're the darlings, and that it just doesn't seem like a lot of calls go certain teams' ways. It's not even a Bills thing exactly, but
I think it is. But yeah, I don't know. Like, are people more inclined to just like assume Allen is just like doing something dumb, versus are refs more inclined to assume he's just making a bad decision versus it actually being like an option route? Like, are they ever throwing that flag on Mahomes or Burrow? I think the answer is unequivocally no. So it's like, oh, Matt Allen, he's like this gunslinger. He probably just like made a dumb decision, like whatever. Throw the flag. I don't think that flag is getting thrown on Burrow and Mahomes. So I mean, that was a laughable penalty.
Yeah, that was insane. I mean,
you see that stuff every time you watch football. Like, a miscommunication, guy cuts off his route and the ball's deep. Like, it clearly wasn't an intentional grounding. Allen wasn't intentionally grounding the ball. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
My God. But
well, looking ahead to the Broncos, they're healthy and we're beat up. I mean, I don't know if I'm looking up the Bills injury report if it came out today, Saturday, because today is Friday, the equivalent of, but.
I'm trying to look it up too.
But I think our offense, I don't know. I mean, Shakir came out and he had a good game. Cook he has good games. The tight end, I mean, that he without Knox, he's actually a real player, a real weapon.
Kincaid's he's a star. He's a budding star. Diggs didn't practice today, but he said he's 100% playing. He said him sitting out of practice today was maintenance.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, but the defensive guys, I mean, the big one too is Bernard in concussion protocol. Like, is he going to clear that?
Yeah, he's been
by Monday.
He's been participating limited the whole week, but basically they don't play players anymore if they're within a week.
We got the extra day. That might help. Hyde hasn't been practicing. So,
yeah, it seems like Hyde's out, but Poyer's going to play.
Yeah, so you're going to be missing from the start of the season. You're starting D-tackle, starting middle linebacker, starting safety, starting corner, best corner on your team. Who am I missing? Both linebackers if Bernard doesn't play. Milano and Bernard.
Yeah.
It's like maybe Bernard will, but I mean this defense is a shell of itself. And
what we need is fucking number 40 who. Why did they rush him back? I mean, so the argument is that he's better off playing to get there than to be practicing, I guess. But he's out there not doing anything. And Rousseau When was the last time anyone noticed him out there? Or Epinesa. I think Epinesa maybe had 2 plays in the last 2 games.
Rousseau had a good start to the season. Then he had like that toe or foot injury or whatever. And he like missed 1 week. But then ever since then, he just hasn't been the same at all. You're right. You don't notice him at all. So the only pass rusher I ever noticed is Floyd.
Yeah.
And Oliver.
Yeah, and he's Oliver with his. I didn't get the full context of his quote about caring about sacks. I mean, some people phrased it as his personal goals. I don't know. I mean, it's funny these guys know their contract, their incentives so closely, but
probably gets an extra $1 if he gets 8 sacks or something, and 500,000. I mean, I would want to know about it too.
Yeah. I don't know what the question was and what, like, you have to listen to a whole conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
They could have asked him 3 questions about winning, and then you take that out of context, but.
Hey, him getting sacks helps the team, so I don't really care.
Yeah, and if they all get the same exact answer, then we got a guest on the podcast here. Run along, you little kid.
Can she even run yet?
Can't even walk.
Okay.
What? Well, I'm with you on this Broncos game. I'm very uneasy about it. I think Denver is not that bad of a team, but
neither do I.
They're like a Jekyll and Hyde team. I don't care anything. How do you give up 70 points to a team? I mean, okay, yeah, they're playing better, but
yeah. Well, so they limited KC, but they gave up 31 points to the Jets at home. And who was the other game against? Chicago they played, I think, and beat them in overtime. So, yeah, they might be
it's
playing.
not like they're beating the good
right,
teams.
And
I'm bringing it up right now. Yeah. The Broncos. So they're 3-5.
They lost to the Raiders.
Weird they're playing on a Monday off their bye weeks. They're like almost going to be rusty, seemingly. So they lost to the Raiders by 1 in the home opener. They gave up 35 to Washington, lost by 2, and then they lost by 50. They gave up 28 to the Bears. I think that, I mean, what's his name was playing in that game, but they beat the Bears by 3. Yeah, they gave up 31 to the Jets and lost by 10 at home. Then that's when I guess they started playing better, I guess. But so they gave up 19 to the Chiefs. They gave up 17 and beat the Packers by 2. I mean, the Packers are seemingly one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, Love is garbage. That guy is not good. They don't even have any good weapons either. So then they they beat the Chiefs soundly in that game, 24-9. So they played the Chiefs 2 out of 3, and the Chiefs' offense isn't even good.
No, they've struggled a lot this season, and I'm just trying to look up the Jets game. Breece Hall had 22 carries for 177 yards for the Jets that game. Even Zach Wilson completed 19 to 26, so that's like what? Times 4, almost 70+% of his passes. So
yeah. Well, Breece Hall, he had a 72-yarder, but even if you take that up, he had 21 for over 100.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean they won some games. They beat the Chiefs. They're not as bad as that 70-point drubbing, but they're not. They're still one of the.
They haven't beaten anyone good. They beat the Chiefs at home. Okay, that's a good win. But the Chiefs, they have a bad. They lost to Detroit too, and the Chiefs just aren't playing that well, but their defense is playing really well. So
the Broncos are one of the 7 worst teams in the league, probably. The
Bills should cover or win by 7, a push.
I don't know. We'll see.
What time you get into the gate?
I wonder if I was offered free tickets, if I would go.
I know the answer. You wouldn't.
Dude, yeah, you're probably right.
When was the last time you were at a regular season game, like in the 90s?
Regular season? Been to playoff games, preseason, regular season. Maybe 2016.
Ooh. Tiny
Bills,
Tyrant.
Pats. Yeah, Bill. Well, the first year I had seasons till 2015. I think 2016, maybe 2017. I went to a game. I can't remember, but it's been quite some time. I just can't rationalize these night games to this right now. It's crazy. 3 in a row. I mean, that's ridiculous. And then we have 3 straight 425 games. That's weird.
Yeah, home 425 games. I do not honestly remember the last 425 home game that the Bills have had.
Wait, do we have? So we go Broncos, Jets, Eagles, bye week, and then is it KC, then Dallas?
I'm bringing it up.
And then, yeah. I thought the Dallas game was 425, so KC, because otherwise it would be.
So Jets, Eagles, bye week, at Chiefs 425, home Cowboys 425. So it's 4
and when's the Eagles?
straight.
Yeah, 4 straight. Okay, that's crazy. And then we play
8:00
8:30
not prime time, and then 1 o'clock on New Year's Eve.
So that Pats game is a 1 o'clocker.
Yeah, they're not going to change that one.
And then the Dolphins game.
It's TBD. I mean, that one week 18 they change it, but
yeah,
that would probably be a 425 or
4 straight 425s. That's a weird schedule. I feel like that would be more 425 games than we've had like in the past 20 years combined. No, I feel like we played the Chiefs a couple times at 425, at least once.
I feel like when we were younger, they never played the Jets and Giants at the same time, so we'd play the Jets at 425 sometimes.
Maybe. Oh, like if I gotcha. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe
I'm just misremembering my wonderful childhood that I had. Yeah, I got nothing else on this game. I don't know. Russell Wilson, I wish I pulled it up already, but has he played well? I mean, I know he's gone against Chiefs twice.
He's got good stats.
Yeah.
I think he's got I'd have to look it up, but I think he's got, I don't know, a really good TD interception ratio. He's got good, decent stats, I think, but I think, is he playing well? Probably not.
They had weapons, but like Jerry Jeudy wants to fight like sideline reporters and shit, and like he doesn't practice or something. All right, so Wilson's thrown 2 of the last 3 weeks. He's thrown over 300 yards. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. I'm looking at it in reverse. He hasn't thrown for 200 yards since October 1st.
200?
Yeah, so against the Chiefs, where they scored 24 points, I think the Chiefs had like 3 turnovers in that game. He threw 3 touchdowns, but he had 114 yards passing on 12 completions, 194 against Green Bay on 20 completions, 95 in the loss to the Chiefs on the road, 13 completions. He had 196 against the Jets, and then against the Bears, he only had 223. So he's not flinging the ball around. You're right. He only has 4 interceptions, and he has 16 touchdown passes. So
yeah, that's
he's
what I
getting
thought.
Touchdown passes, but that's like their field position. Which I wanted to mention. This fucking punter.
Well,
how can he not punt? How do you not hear a punter?
I mentioned it earlier that our average drive start was like the 35-yard line since like weeks 1 through 4, and weeks 5 through 9, it's the 25. Like, that's part of that is our defense sucking, but yeah, our punter's atrocious. He's been so bad. Line drive, short punts.
Yeah, the Cincy game. Yeah, exactly. The no hang time, not long. So since he scored, and then they kick off to us, and didn't he come out of the end zone and only got to like the 16?
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure because I was snapping about that. I was furious.
Cincy's first 2 TD drives were like 75 yards, and then their third TD drive was like less than 50. So I think that might be the one you're talking about.
I'm just saying the Bills don't. Their special teams is horrible.
And I also feel like our like Martin has been terrible, but I feel like every punter that we're going up against is like hitting these like 68-yard bombs, these punts.
It seems I honestly agree with you. I mean, we have like the victim mentality, but I agree with you. I've watched like punts and it's just like, what? It's at the 8?
Yeah. No, I remember the Jags punter or the Pats punter. What? Like a lefty with long hair. Guy was just like, yeah, it was crazy. And then, oh man, no, I bet you there's some. I should look it up at net punt yards for and against.
I might do that
Jags
Monday.
game.
I'm not working, so I'm not gonna start tailgating till noon. But so I got the whole
I
morning.
might do that. Yeah, net punt yards weeks 5 through 9. And I'm just curious. Average all the punts, net punt, net yards. That'd be interesting. I bet you it's 50 to like 32.
Well, so after the Patriots loss, we come out and they basically threw the kitchen sink, so to speak, and they still didn't score a lot of points, but the offense played pretty well.
Yeah,
I'm guessing
great.
they're going to come out and the Bills are going to be motivated. But with the defense being hurt, special teams not good, no Gabe Davis existing, it's going to be a pretty close game.
Defense can't get it off the field, which makes it harder on the offense. And, it's just, yeah.
They played well against the run, though. I mean, Mixon, touchdown, but he didn't do much else.
Yeah, their rushing D, the run D hasn't seemed terrible really all season other than giving up the occasional long run. But I think in general, yeah, I would agree that the rush defense has been like pretty decent. Mixon didn't do anything. So
I'm going 27-20 Bills.
I'm not going to sit here and pick Denver to win, but I can just see it being just way more uncomfortable than it should be. F it. 38-13 Bills.
I mean, we haven't lost at home yet, right? I mean, their Bills are in the
No, they played good. They've played good at home except for the Giants game, but yeah, we technically have a home loss because that London game was a home game.
No.
But
that's not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was like looking at the standings.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to will this one to happen, but hopefully they can come out and jump on them. If we get a lead, that's the key. Is just getting a lead and
not letting them use Williams or whatever the fuck that guy's name is, Javante. But all right, well, we'll talk to you next week.
Later.
Okay, it's gutter hope. All about my Bills like Buffalo.
That's about it from Manager's Corner. Go fuck yourself and the fuck with your show coming up next.
We're going to the playoffs and you're going to take out one of our best players because you couldn't take a hit? That's a joke. That's an absolute joke is what it is.
Shit, I'm all about the Bills like Thurman Thomas.
Win the U game. We need an L. We need an L against Houston. We need as many L's as we can pile up from now until the end of the season. We're not making a playoff.